A very big morning to you and welcome to the newspaper review reaching you live from our studios at High Impact Television. I am Priye Krumale. Now we are currently being joined by Mr. Adeni Kuno, is a public policy researcher and analyst. Good morning and welcome to the newspaper review on High Impact Television.
Yeah, good morning and thank you for having me. Good morning.
Yes, it's good to have you this morning.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Mr. Adeni Kuno, now with 2023 elections at the corner, the issue about zoning and marginalization has become one of the topmost issues of discussion. Do you think by chance it will make or mar the 2023 elections?
I think that the first thing we have to consider is what kind of country are we? What kind of people are Nigerians, especially when it comes to politics? You know, if you check the last 8 years, you'd find out that there had been, consistent decrease in the number of those who participate in elections. So on the one hand, you see Nigerians clamor and shout about what they don't like. But when it comes to voting, they stay at home or they talk more. So that is one peculiarity. But when we talk about zoning, I think that zoning is associated with the conscious reality of the kind of ethnicities and tribesmen and women that we have. Many people in this country are still connected to their ethnic group or their tribes. I won't blame them actually, because if you check Europe, for instance, Europeans that colonized Nigeria know the importance of aligning with the people that are your group. For instance, if you look at a country like Croatia, Croatia is less than 6 million. And that tells you that Croatia has one language, as it were, and they are together. If you go to places like Slovakia, if you go to countries like Serbia, you go to places like Montenegro, those people were together up until a war erupted. And after the war, they decided, and on the knowledge of Europe, to be together, close-knit with their group, with those that speak the same language as they are. So for us as a people, zoning has become a way to resolve the problem of people's consciousness of their ethnic group and their loyalty to their ethnic group. So I think that to an extent is aimed at solving the problem of people who could feel they are being left out rather than being included. So that's my response to that.
Okay, now when we look at the issue about zoning, there's been some form of criticism against zoning, and there's been some form of argument also upholding zoning. But there is an argument that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended does not recognize zoning. Do you think that argument will hold sway?
Well, I think that the people who say that should also tell Buhari not to call his wife First Lady, because that is not in the Constitution. They should also tell him not to have two special advisors on media, because you only have one in the Constitution. Because those people perhaps don't understand some other things with regard to solving the peculiar problems of the country. Say that in principle they are right because it's not in the Constitution. There are 1,001 other things that are not in the Constitution that they have been doing, which perhaps is prompted just to make sure that things go smoothly. That is just from my own perspective. Now, let's say this. I have mentioned a number of countries to you. Germany, in terms of population, if I am correct, appears to have the biggest population amongst countries in Europe, followed by England, if I'm correct.
Okay.
The homogeneity of England and Germany is the reason they don't have such terrible disaffection when they go to the polls, because virtually everybody in England speaks English, and virtually everybody in Germany speaks German.
Okay.
If you come to Nigeria, the first confusion is not everybody speaks English, not everybody speaks French, because these are supposed to be our first and second languages. So you find out that the Yoruba that I speak has been relegated, the Izon that you belong to has probably been relegated. You find out that the Igbo or Hausa or Fulani or Kanuri that some other people speak have been relegated. So we find out that we live in the confusion created by those that colonized us. And we're looking for ways to solve problems, to make people feel they are not left out, especially those that do not have the bigger percentage of population like the Yorubas, like the Hausas, and the Igbos. By the way, there's nothing like Hausa Fulani as a tribe. That's a fraud. So you either have Hausa or you have Fulani. So let us correct that. There's nothing like Hausa Fulani in Nigeria because the Hausas are a tribe, the Fulanis are a tribe. Having said that, the people who say that is not in the Constitution should understand that there are certain situations where you just have to find solutions to your problems. If in a country like Nigeria, over the past 8 years or 12, the number of those who participate in the elections have been reducing, despite the fact that there's been an increase in the population of Nigerians, then I think we've got to think about it and give consideration to the fact that what can we do to make everybody become or feel included in the electoral process so that they can participate and make the country a better one. So that is another position. So let us understand how we solve problems here. It has become a necessity.
Okay.
And if you also look at it, every political party has people from different tribes of the country.
Yeah.
And different tribes of the country appears to be very, very important. Let us look at the PDP for now. The PDP's national chairman, as we speak, is Dr. Iyorchia Achu. Dr. Iyorchia Achu is from Benue.
Okay.
Benue is not among the first three most populated portions of this country. Benue comes, I think, fourth or fifth after Izon. So Benue and the Izon people normally share that position and all of that. And that is why they have to make him their chairman.
Okay.
For instance, if you are looking at the PD, the APC, if you check the confusion now, many Northerners want to become chairpersons of the APC because of the current situation going on. So it's a consideration that they usually would have to put so as to fix things. So I'm listening, please.
All right. Mr. Kunu, now let me look at this from another perspective. Not just only the two political parties that you mentioned, the APC and the PDP, including other fringe and smaller political parties. Do you think they have strategies they are deploying from what seems to be unfolding in the polity these days to correct every thought or perception of marginalization ahead of 2023 elections?
Well, if you look at it, when President Goodluck Jonathan became the #1 citizen of Nigeria, living in Aso Villa, nobody expected it. One of the things that they've always tried to do is to have a minority. Please permit that word. And I don't want anybody to feel offended. One of the things they try to do to balance the scales that would not allow them to feel marginalized is to actually pick the deputy or give a very pivotal position to, people that happens to come from the tribes you describe as minority.
Okay.
Nobody ever gave President Goodluck Jonathan the chance in his life. Even President Goodluck Jonathan is really a man of faith. In Bayelsa State, when his superior had corruption problems, he took over and became governor. When he became president, when his superior died, he had to take over the mantle of leadership. So, you see, nature and life has its own way, or nature and life have their own way of making some things that human beings don't put in place to happen. So if you are looking at balancing it, I think that it would make a lot of sense for key positions to actually at times be ceded to those that may never have the opportunity of becoming the president or perhaps maybe the deputy president or the vice president of our country. If you check it, for instance, the reason they usually would go for somebody from the major tribe has always been that when it's time for election, you have to be able to canvass for votes among the people that can give you more numbers. So the motivation usually prompts them to go for anybody from the three major tribes in the country.
Okay.
And let me state very clearly again, we have Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. As the three major tribes, we don't have Hausa, Fulani. Let's get that straight so we don't confuse our children with terrible geography.
Okay.
What I want to emphasize is that forthwith, to balance the scales of the imbalance and the minority concern, is that certain key positions appropriately may have to be left for those who really also are part of Nigeria, who contribute immensely. Let's look at the people of the Niger Delta, for instance, Urobo people, Isoko people, Izon people, Ishekiri people. Let's look at Anioma people. You have people that are also from Nigeria that contribute through their resources to the foreign exchange earning of Nigeria.
Okay.
So these things are very important. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Before I finally let you go, just in few words, please, do you foresee President emerging from the southeastern part of the country come 2023?
That is not impossible, but the Southeast must let us know what their bargaining chip is.
Okay.
The Igbo people, on the one hand, will talk about Biafra. Some other people will talk about Nigeria. That is not helping the Igbo cause.
All right.
Towards becoming, so I think it's important the Igbo nation speak as one. So that, because the Igbo man is found everywhere.
Okay.
The Igbo man is no less competent.
Okay.
The Igbo man can become president, but the Igbo man must begin to realize he needs to come together and see himself as part of Nigeria so that at least Nigerians can think in that direction as well.
Okay. Mr. Adeni Kunu is a public affairs, a public policy researcher and analyst. Thanks to you for joining us this morning. I would have preferred that we continue having the conversation, but for time, thank you for your time this morning.
I appreciate the privilege to have a conversation with you. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria. Thank you so much. We draw the curtain this morning on the newspaper review. I am Oyim Priye Krumale. Many thanks for watching.